Well, this has been a bit of a disaster. I decided to swing out here real fast, and of course I forgot the mouth hole to my hydration bladder, which is going to make using it very difficult. It also is making my life difficult because I already dumped 3 liters of water into it. Oh my god, why is my... Okay. Oh my goodness. My hose to my hydration bladder, I forgot the mouth bit, the mouth hole, the mouth bit, the mouthpiece. I'm in a hurry. I'm trying to get everything set up to do this, and I realize I gotta stop packing when I'm drinking because I forgot the mouth bit, and I think I forgot something else of critical import. So now I'm trying to dump the water that I just poured into my bladder back into the bottles to carry them because I don't have the mouthpiece to this. There we go. I have 2 of the 3 liters back into their original bottles. What a friggin' mess. I have like not a crazy amount of time out here, and I'm trying to make the most of it. But it's difficult to do that when you're an idiot. I found out I did this because I put water in the hydration bladder with this open, this valve open, and I just poured water all over my own crotch, which was ice cold, which alarmed me because, you know, it's never a good thing to have ice cold water pouring all over your nether regions when you don't know why. Looks like they're building some stuff. Old Springfield Cemetery. Established as a 10-acre community burial ground in town plat dedicated January 6, 1838 by Moses Herron. Earliest graves probably never had stone markers because of primitive frontier living conditions. It is recorded that 12 families were driven out of Springfield late in 1838 by Indian hostilities. The town's growth was halted materially until 1846. The oldest tombstone is for an infant who died October 3rd, 1849. Another early marker is for a native of New York State slain in 1854 violence for his gold. This burial ground was open to use by surrounding areas and many strangers found a final resting place here alongside veterans of the Texas War for Independence, the Mexican War, and other conflicts. Since Springfield was county seat of Limestone County from 1846 to 1878, home of Springfield College, closed in the 1860s, and a center for church and business affairs, it attracted persons of distinction. Some of them were buried here. Although the town lost its means of growth after it was bypassed by Houston and Texas Central Railroad in 1870 and then suffered a devastating fire in 1873, families of old residents often have returned to bury their dead in their established lots beside pioneer forefathers. I'm here walking amongst the graves of a town that no longer exists. In the 1870s, the railroad, due to geographical reasons, bypassed this town. And shortly thereafter, the town slowly evaporated. It was a town that back then was as large as Dallas and Houston. Sacred to the memory of Mrs. John Shackelford, born October 17th, 1831, departed this life June 12th, 1868. Dr. N. Bricken, born in eastern New York, January 24th, 1819, died in Texas by Mexican violence, slain for gold on October 1854. He suffered much through life and murmured not. This is all that's left of Springfield. Just this cemetery here at Fort Parker State Park. There's no shot this place isn't haunted. As soon as I set foot in the cemetery, the wind started blowing like crazy. I'm doing the Springfield Trail, I believe. It's the trail that goes through what used to be Springfield. There's not much left anymore. Drove around Fort Parker State Park a little bit just to get a general feel for it. Oh, hello. Clean off my lens a little bit. It's a Texas state park that is what I call a lake-centric park. That the main feature is a rather sizable lake, which is neat because it also has a paddle trail. Heard a loud noise behind me. It's so windy, I think it's knocking branches down. And hopefully one of them will not land on my noggin. Not that I use that much anyway. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, they have a paddle trail, which is basically like a hiking trail on the water. Several state parks have that, this being one of them. I will not be paddling. I have nothing to paddle in, although I do think you can rent stuff here, but I ain't got time for that. Unfortunately, I'm trying to squeeze this in an already rather cluttered itinerary. But anyway, I digress. Ah. We got a fishing spot. You can bet your bass. Makes you want to spit. The story of Old Springfield. Only two remnants of the once thriving town of Springfield to survive today stroll through this town's cemetery, where civic leaders, plantation owners, slaves, and African-American freedmen are buried. Then discover the natural springs forming Lake Springfield as you walk east on the Springfield Trail. In the beginning, Moses Herron established the town of Springfield around a large spring east of Navasota River. However, the threat of Indian raids like the one in 1836 at Parker's Fort discouraged early settlers. Springfield emerged as a crossroads for business and culture in the 1840s thanks to its location on the main roads from Houston to Dallas and from Waco to Palestine. The newly formed Limestone County designated Springfield as its county seat in 1845. Springfield thrived in the 1850s, boasting 5 general stores and 2 hotels. It's a pretty big town for back then. Blacksmiths, tailors, gunsmiths, lawyers, physicians, and wagon makers offered services to the town's 2,600 residents. A new brick courthouse ruled the public square, and Springfield College opened in 1860. Springfield's boom ended abruptly when the Civil War began. Businesses closed as 3/4 of the free male population joined the Confederate Army. When the war finally ended, local plantation owner Logan Stroud freed 133 slaves, and everything changed. During Reconstruction, former slaves bought property and sought political office, while former Confederates lost their right to vote and bear arms. Racial strife resulted as the social structure of the community changed. The state declared martial law in Springfield in 1871 in response to attacks and threats by various citizen groups. The railroad dealt the troubled Springfield a crippling blow, bypassing it in favor of Groesbeck and Mexia. After the county seat moved to Groesbeck in 1873, Springfield enjoyed a brief resurgence as a community of African-American freedmen. Springfield disappeared board by board as residents sought jobs in nearby towns. Nothing left anymore. And there's enough stuff out here that it definitely is worth coming and staying. So there's a lot of history and points of interest, and about 7 miles of hiking trails that I'm painfully neglecting in my haste. This is a really nice park. It's kind of off by itself. Not a lot of people talk about it online, from what I've seen. But I'm impressed. It's a nice place. Definitely have a feel of history. The buzzards are circling me. Actually, I think that was a hawk. Oh, that was a buzzard. No, I think those are buzzards waiting to pick my bones. This is what they call a root ball. It's the roots of an upended tree. And I see a lot of wilderness survival folks use root balls as part of an improvised shelter. But that's only if you're really roughing it. Well, now we've moved to the north side of the park. Here. I think I'm going to try to knock out the Navasota River Loop. But came in down here, came up here, had the water crisis here, came back around, checked out the cemetery here, did the Springfield Trail Loop, and now we've come up here. But as you can see, it's a pretty big lake. And we're not even going to get to the Baines Creek because I'm plumb out of time, unfortunately. Earlier I was talking about the paddle trail, and this is how those work. It starts here at the dock, and then you follow a course across the river and into this little channel. I guess you can go all the way up. Arms probably get pretty tired. But yeah, that dam is down here as well. But yeah, as you paddle the Navasota River, think of the abundance this river environment provided for the people living in the area. Prehistoric hunter-gatherers made use of this plentiful wild plants for their food, medicine, and other useful items. Fish, jive turkeys, deer, and squirrels provided food for early Native American settlers. Today, the Navasota River remains a valuable source of water for the residents of Groesbeck. Here you can see a dramatization of what life was like about 3 weeks ago. Let's check it out. Nice stump. trail marker makes me worried. Now I'm thinking I got on the wrong dang trail. It's my crack navigation skills. I think I'm okay. That marker said this blue trail is 2 miles, but there's another lighter blue trail that I'm trying to do. Trails are marked very similarly. Pro tip: when putting trails next to each other, maybe perhaps do a different color instead of a different shade. I'm not an expert. It's just kind of irritating to be in a part quadrant of a area and be looking at 2 different trails that intersect, and they're both the same shade of blue. This is me operating on 5 hours of sleep for 2 or 3 consecutive days, getting complaining as I'm wont to do. It looks like an old trail. I've been working on my health more concertedly as of late, and I've lost a lot of weight. In fact, I'm a little mad at some of y'all for not telling me how fat I was. I don't know if I'm gonna actually put this in the video or not, but just sort of rambling into the late hours of the day. But you know, everybody's like, oh, congratulations, it's great, you lost weight, it's amazing, you must feel so better, must be so happy. And it's like, sure, as happy as I can be, which is, you know, not that happy. The most irritating thing of the whole deal is I keep having to buy new clothes. I hate clothes shopping, because up until relatively recently I couldn't ever find what I liked in my size, being as big as I was. And I'm just now getting to where I can actually shop at regular stores, sorta. But it's irritating because I keep finding things I like that fit really well, and then just a little bit later I'm walking through a grocery store or out on the trail, and all of a sudden my pants are slipping, and there's a moment of sheer panic. And I know, you know, this is like complaining, oh, I've got too much money, or, you know, my job pays me too well. You know, I should be grateful, but alas, I'm an ingrate. I assume that's the northernmost part of the lake. Kind of a tributary that narrows down. I'm over here laughing at myself, hoping I didn't get onto the wrong trail. I'm 90% sure I didn't, but if I did, I'm probably not going to figure it out for another half mile or mile. If I'm where I think I am, I should be hitting a road here pretty soon, and that'll clue me in. Most of these state parks, the trails are pretty simple, but you can make a couple miscalculations. You're not going to die, but you're going to walk farther and feel stupid, which, you know, I always do. I see something up ahead. I haven't made a miscalculation out here yet, so that'd be a bad time to start. I've been having a hard time getting shots of me walking because it's so windy. It keeps knocking over my tripod. Okay. Now, I don't want to be here when I'm wrong, because boy howdy, I might be wrong. Okay, this is the road. Consult the map. Tap into my age-old orienteering skills. Okay. By my confabulations, this is the road. I should be going straight ahead through that trail, and then very shortly thereafter hit a T intersection. And at that T intersection, I'm gonna want to go right. And that'll take me back to the sanctity of the car, where we will probably end this journey. Unless I'm wrong, and I have no idea where the hell I am. And then I'll have to backtrack. Nothing sucks harder than backtracking. But good news! I won't have to backtrack, because I am where I think I am. This is the T intersection. That way takes you back to the headquarters and the campsites and what we've already looked at today. This is the way in which we need to go. You can hear all the trees creaking. just like my bones. I feel safe. I feel very safe. We're gonna say they cut those down, not that this wind blew them over. They call falling trees and limbs widowmakers, but lucky for us, I'm single. Now I'm like paranoid. Looking in the trees, hearing voices in the trees. Shouldn't be in here much longer. Oh, windy. My mind drifts towards what I'm gonna do for dinner. I may have to eat on the road, which I don't like doing. I'm usually relegated to garbage food. But I guess a little garbage now and then had never killed anybody. Damn, all this wind is drying me out. I see cars. I think we're gonna live to tell the tale. I'll go over here and take one more gander at the lake, and then I'll have to bid you adieu until the next time. Oh, all this wind coming from the crapper. That's where I started over there. That's where I came out. And when I got here, I didn't even see that. Kayaks.